In February of 2003, the U.S. government prosecuted 53 of its own citizens, including me, man, simply for blowing glass. Actually, simply for playing with glass.
The Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, codenamed Operation Pipe Dreams, has taken 3 decisive steps to dismantle the illegal drug paraphernalia industry.
2 decades later, we will reignite the flame as we invite 12 elite glass blowers to the famed Dream Factory in the Arts District of Las Vegas to compete in Season 1 of Operation Pipe Dreamers. Now let's join our host, Jason Pinsky, and get this competition started.
Thanks, Tommy. As you just saw, we've got 12 phenomenal artists for Season 1. But for this episode, we'll be featuring 3 artists over 2 sessions, with 1 available spot in the finals. The first spot was secured by Eugene Goins in our Color episode. Eugene's expertise propelled him into the finals. He was joined by Dina, aka Soulfire, whose pieces she created in our athletics-themed episode were in a different league. The third spot was taken by Deline Peralta, who left our judges' mouths watering in our food episode. Who will join them on the Chongbong brackets and make it to the finals? Let's meet tonight's artists, and as always, they each brought a chillum that best represents them. At table number 1 is Carl Grimm Taylor.
Hey, it's Grim from Arizona. I've been blowing glass 21 years, and I did a clear glass chillum, which is one of the first chillums that most glass blowers tend to make.
At table 2 is Phil Siegel, aka The Wizard.
I'm Phil Siegel. I've been blowing glass for 10 years. I made a wizard staff chillum with a crushed opal crystal ball on top, and it's inspired by my wizard pieces that I'm most known for in the pipe world.
At table 3 is Tammy Baller.
I'm Tammy fucking Baller. I'm from upstate New York, and I've been blowing glass for 21 years now. And I made a dude chillum because we were told to make something that represent your artwork. I made the dude.
As always, we'll be joined by our 2 main judges. Jason Harris, our host here at the Dream Factory, is a world-renowned glass artist and co-founder of Jerome Baker Design. He has mentored a generation of glass artists and has established himself as a leading voice in the world of glass. Alongside him will be Karen Willenbrecht Johnson, who has been blowing glass for over 40 years. Her insight and knowledge of glass blowing makes her a perfect addition to our judges' roundtable. Each week, our 2 judges will be joined by a very special guest judge who can give their unique perspective to each round of the competition. This week's guest judge is Alex Grossi. Alex is a lifelong musician and plays guitar in the legendary rock band Quiet Riot. Alex, tell us this week's theme.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and obviously today's theme, having me here, is music. So I'm really looking forward to it helping expand this genre to the masses.
Season 1 of Operation Pipe Dreamers features 4 semis, each making up 2 sessions. Each artist will be tasked to blow a specific type of piece based on today's theme, music. Our judges will deliberate, and the artists' combined scores over the 2 rounds will determine today's winner and who moves on to the finals. The overall champion will take home 10 grand in cash and will hoist our prestigious champion's flame while donning a custom West Coast leather jacket by designer Maxwell Wald. But first, let's learn a little more about the piece they'll be blowing in Session 1 in a little segment we like to call Dream Piece Theater.
Good evening. I'm Professor Blunston, and welcome to Dream Piece Theater, where we feature the iconic and aptly named Sherlock. named and modeled after the iconic pipe used by Sherlock Holmes. Sherlocks are stylish handpipes that have been popular over the centuries. A good Sherlock pipe from glass could pack a real punch, a huge bowl, and some extraordinary bubbler designs. Now back to the Dream Factory, where our three geniuses are creating their Sherlocks. Elementary, my dear Jason. Elementary.
Okay, we're gonna put 2 hours on the clock for today's theme, music. You guys are making a Sherlock. Ladies and gentlemen, start your torches.
All right. Starting gate is open. Everybody looks very, very comfortable here. We got 3 heavy hitters in the Piper movement and the torches here. Everybody's heading towards the kiln. What's happened is they've had some prep work done. Okay. They bring it in these boxes you see underneath the tables, and they've preheated it up in the oven. So everything has to be hot, above 1,000 degrees or it instantly cracks. Grim, tell us a little bit about what's in your hand right now.
So it's a section, it's got a lot of Marini images, which is kind of that thing you get when you slice a loaf of bread and you see a picture and you slice it again, you see the same picture. It's another trick in candy, but it's a way of making a block of image and pulling it down. And I've just got a bunch of those layered on the surface.
How long did that prep work take you?
Oh, this was probably about a week and a half actually. So having to make the millies before I can start making the piece adds a lot of time to construction.
Excellent, excellent.
Well, I've always considered that the underground pipe movement is one of the larger artistic movements out there that nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, there's a lot of places where people create new and cutting edges types of art, and the pipe scene has been one of those ones that really has been pushing a lot of boundaries, breaking a lot of barriers, but it's not necessarily something that people understand. When they think of a pipe, they think of that $5 thing you get at the local gas station. But really it's just a vessel for expression, and when people want to put in the time or work or artistic expression to create something more, it's no longer just a pipe, it's art.
It's really amazing.
It's amazing
for me to see
Yeah.
how far it's come, into, as an art form.
It's wild.
It's not just a little thing to smoke through anymore, Very, very impressed.
Now the wizard Phil Siegel is working on something really interesting back here.
Are you
Phil,
carving a...
sorry. Phil, what's going on?
So, when I started thinking about the music theme and what that meant to me, I mean, obviously I went through my mental Rolodex of all of the awesome stuff that I love to rock out to, but being a father, there's like some musical things that are early in our life that are really impactful. And when I became a dad, I realized through the songs that we sing to our kids, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, some of the things that we teach our children are some of the foundations. Every night when my son was 3 and he wanted me to sing him a lullaby and I didn't know any lullabies, and so I pulled Dream a Little Dream of Me, Mamas and the Papas, the song I'm talking about. So I'm making a piece that's clouds and a moon and stars, because that's the fantasy kind of
the
world
next time I hear
that
the song, I'm
exists
gonna
in.
think about you.
It's really apples to oranges when you're comparing art. Like there's 12 people here, and most of them do something different than a different subject matter, different techniques. And so I think you just focus on what you do good and try to be creative. I mean, it's just the office, Like I'm just going to go do what I do every day.
Anybody that's watching or anybody that's out there is going to have an opportunity to bid on these pieces. Half of the money of the sale of the pieces goes towards the Pilchuck Scholarship Foundation that we're putting together to send people up to the glass school that might not have otherwise gone. The other half, 50% of it, goes to the charity of your choice. Tammy, how about you? What would be your charity that half of the money of your piece is going to go to?
I don't know, wildlife rescue. I'd like to see that go to. I really like animals, and 9 times out of 10, the animals we're rescuing is crap that us stupid humans did, so it'd be kind of nice to donate it that way. Started making pipes because I couldn't roll a joint, and that was a problem because I like to smoke a lot of weed. So eventually, pipes stopped being antler pipes and carvings of soapstone and turned into, hey, I guess glass sounds fun, but I also got accepted to an art school that had a glass blowing department. So I was making bongs instead of pipes. Then I got arrested, so I bought a torch because it was cheaper than a soft glass studio. And taught myself how to blow glass.
So what are you doing right now?
I'm putting Jerry Garcia onto...
And is Jerry in a bed of asbestos?
Yes. Jerry's in a bed of asbestos.
So do you try not to breathe that stuff as it powders up in your hand?
I just...
You bet your ass I'm trying not to breathe that stuff.
Especially once it starts breaking down. Oh, so...
So she's able to hold that glass, so she's got the thing in a bed of asbestos. She's just nastied up over there in high fire material. Making a really precision move right now too.
Now are you gonna embellish your cloud?
I am just going along and adding tufts of cloud, and I'm gonna build out a couple little small structures. Yeah, this is the can of, this is all hollow, and my bowl is gonna be pushed there, and then my moon is hollow and it's gonna be my mouthpiece. And then I'm gonna finish out the clouds, and I'm gonna put a bunch of these little blue stars all over it.
We're just getting started at Operation Pipe Dreamers. Session 1 continues after the break. Welcome back inside the Dream Factory in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lots on the line here. Jason, tell us what our artists are competing for.
We're competing for 10 stacks, bro. Also, this flame of ancestral knowledge sitting here next to us. We created this in Maui specifically to give energy to the winning glassblower, yeah? Also next to that is a custom West Coast leather jacket. It's gonna be made for the winner. It's a champion's jacket right here. West Coast Leather made Elvis's one-piece suit. They made Jimi Hendrix's jacket. They make all, these incredible pieces of clothing for superstars, and we got superstars with us today, for sure.
In order to make the most killer pieces, each artist was given the opportunity to come prepared for their episode by bringing as many items and pre-made elements for their pipes that can fit in our OPD prep boxes. And as you'll discover throughout our competition, these prep boxes can make or break an artist piece.
Tammy is doing a Jerry Garcia right there. And we gotta see if he actually has only 9 fingers.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Yep. He's got 2 legs. He's gonna need 9 fingers now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's missing this finger.
How did it happen?
His brother chopped it off with an axe on accident.
Oh my God, as kids? And he still played guitar?
Yeah, it was on his strumming hand.
Yeah, it was on this hand, so.
Yep.
As long as he could still play Ripple.
I don't think his finger was the most hindering thing of him playing guitar towards the end.
Right. There's a band out called Jerry's Middle Finger.
That's a great.
Is his ear the carb, Tammy? What is it?
Bet your ass.
Yep. Tammy's using that bench tech. The other ear is an ear. So it's an ear hole.
I love the classic form. She's
going in the kiln very carefully. She's trying to soak heat right now and use the atmosphere in the kiln.
So once they go in the kiln, there's a timer set?
Once they go in the kiln, she's waiting for it to get all heated up again so she could bring it back out to work on it and add things to it.
So it's not a set time, it's got to be in there.
No. The longer it's out, the more risk she's got.
Your cloud's in the oven.
Yeah, it's in the kiln. I kind of finished with that part. I put all the craters on the moon, and now I'm gonna like fit them so that it fits in nice and snug, and then I'll put the stars on, and then I might go back by time and even do a little bit of like the little like declining proportion billowing, just feather it out a little bit just to give it expression. Like the clouds are kind of have fingers, you know? If I have time.
So now we're just under the hour mark. You have under an hour left to get the pieces finished and in the kiln. Alex, can you read the notes on the saxophone?
I can, yeah.
Are those actual music notes, Grim?
Yeah, they are.
They are,
although
yeah.
I have no clue what they say.
So what are you doing? You're waiting for heat to sink?
I'm waiting for heat to sink because I got to put more cute little animals on, but not where I just put the last cute little animal. He's jamming away. He's got the Wolf guitar. I got a Jerry Kelly Wolf Millie, so I made the correct guitar for the age frame of the Jerry. I went, all historical and shit. Looks good.
Carl, I see you doing some detail work here in the saxophone. What are you actually doing now? You're poking holes?
Well, I just finished attaching the snorkel card. So now it's about filling out the rest of the shape, bringing in more detail.
Wow, what a carb on that thing.
But
huh?
yeah, so at this point it's a fully functional piece, ready to mouth piece. And it's the finish line is not necessarily ever there. You can always take something further. So
what's the snorkel carb gonna do? Is it gonna fill with
smoke?
smoke?
This is a kind of a biggish Sherlock. There's a good air volume in there. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna make sure that you're picking up the air and clearing the smoke as best as possible.
Would I be able to put water in that?
No, it's too close to the weld line for the bottom of the bowl. So there just wouldn't be any depth to be able to get any bubble.
Super complex, man. Great bending of that hollow tube. Phil's got some blow tech going on right now. Popping holes. That Jerry tree is getting really interesting. I've been to the Jerry tree before.
What is the Jerry tree?
It's in Portland, Oregon at a winery. It's on a golf course.
Wow.
And Jerry he lives in a tree. It's a Jerry tree. Huh. Yeah, it's wild.
The nest makes it, man. The nest and bird is wonderful.
They're the little nature's orchestra playing their little tune, with Jerry. They're jamming out together.
What was the move?
It's a jam session in the woods.
What was the move you just did?
Beg your pardon, honey?
What was the move you just did?
I just tossed the first card in the line. I'm gonna go get the other one in a minute, and then give her a look-see and mouthpiece it.
So we're down below the 30-minute mark. And the winner of this competition is gonna go on to the finals to compete for $10,000 cash, the Ancestral Flame of Knowledge, and the custom West Coast leather jacket for the winner of Operation Pipe Dreams. Grim, you got some serious detail work happening here. Tiny little pieces going on. Uber detail.
I don't know, detail's always fun. There's just so many ways that, so I kind of look at most pieces as a frame, and you fill out the frame. There's always space for something.
Phil, how's your cloud going over there?
Yeah, I really like that. That's looking really nice.
What are you going for, a soak now?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in there to let it all, I've only put it in there like 3 times since we started, so I'm gonna let it chill out in there and let everything kind of relax a little bit and puff this joint for a few minutes, and then, yeah, 18 minutes. I still gotta mouthpiece it, and then I'm gonna go around, like I was telling Karen before I mouthpiece it, and see if there's maybe a little bit of detail work on some of the cloud tufting that I can get in a little bit more on and add just a little bit of detail to it.
Cool. I'm feeling the pressure in here. I'm feeling the pressure. It is, it's getting hot. I see little driplets beginning to start coming down the walls. My ears are popping and things are coming to a head. It's like we're in the spaceship. We can see the Earth now. We're coming out of orbit. You're gonna be on the tarmac. Your spacesuit's gonna be off in 10 minutes. Re-entry is occurring now. 2 pieces in the kiln, 1 still working. And here comes Phil on the finish on the mouthpiece, right at the clock. And we have minutes left.
Yeah, you still have 3 minutes to spare, Phil.
Phil's picking his hole, opening his orifice. The mouthpiece is a really important part of the pipe. It's where you put your lips. So you don't want little bits of ash to go in from the pipe into your mouth. You don't want the thing to be too big or you're gonna be, yeah, it doesn't work. It has to be just perfect. Phil's putting on the big heat-resistant gloves to go deep.
A minute and a half to spare.
He's in the kiln. Good job, good job.
When we come back, our judges will take their first look at the complete Sherlocks. Don't go anywhere. It's now time to judge our Sherlocks. Grimm's up first. Alex, what did you think of his piece?
I love the way the notes kind of flow throughout the whole thing, you know, musically. I can almost hear what's being played on there just by looking at it. It's very well done. And I like the keys, everything. Wow, it's definitely a beautiful little pink saxophone to smoke weed through. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
All right, great score. Jason?
I love it. I think he used some cool color in the piece. He's got a great flow of the music notes. I mean, it's really complex. I love it, and I really especially love the bowl. He approached it totally different than anybody else would have on a weed bowl, and I could pack a lot of fucking chem dog in that bowl. That's for sure.
Nice.
A lot of work went into it. Thought ahead of time went into it. Preparation, and for that, I am giving him the 9.
All right, great score. Karen, how about you?
I look at it and I'm like, wow, it's festive, it's lyrical, I love the imagery, you know, and plus it's an instrument. I mean, how much more about music can you get besides this? I'm giving him a 10.
All right, 27 points, Grimm. Great score. Phil's piece, almost like a nursery rhyme. What'd you think, Alex?
It looks very functional to me. I love the way the stars have the light blue at the tips of them. A little detail there. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the backstory especially, and I think it brings out, it shows a part of an aspect of music that's really important. That's a connection between you and your kids. And, you know, having that kind of meaning behind it definitely connected with me, so you get a 9.
Oh, right. Great score. Cool. How about you, Jason?
I love the pipe. It's a total different approach on a pipe. I don't know how it smokes, and I'm trying to find the carb. Okay, so the carb's over here. It's cool. I love it. You're a spiritual gangster. I give you a 9, brother.
Thank you, my friend. All right, great score. Karen?
For me, it's like a visual nursery rhyme. I don't really read music. I read more of a little story, a nursery rhyme in it, but it's still beautiful. I give Phil a 9.
Okay. All right, 27. So we've got Grim and Phil tied right now. Tammy, you're up next. Alex, what'd you think of that Jerry piece?
I was blown away by that. As a guitar player, the detail on the guitar itself, it looked like him sitting there jamming in the forest. So we're getting a 10.
All right, perfect score. Jason, what's your score?
Well, she obviously knows my heart's in Jerry Garcia.
For sure.
Inspiration moves me brightly.
Sure.
Thanks, babe.
Another perfect score. Karen, what'd you think?
I really like that it looks like it was a moment frozen in time.
Yeah.
And a precious moment at that, so I love the piece. Jerry would be happy. I give you a 10 too.
And 30, our first perfect score. Amazing work, Tammy. Tammy Baller earning her last name, going to the second round. Great job, everybody. Okay, session 1 is in the books. Tammy Baller with a commanding lead of 30 points after getting a whopping 3 10s. But before we see session 2, let's find out a little bit more about what they're making as we return once again to Dream Piece Theater.
Good evening. I'm Professor Blunston, and welcome to Dream Piece Theater, where tonight we will feature one of the most sought-after glass pieces on the market. The dab rig. Most dab rigs are built like a glass bong, but the difference is that it's fitted with a nail, which is semi-similar to a bowl, but with a hole in the side that leads to the pipe, rather than one at the bottom. On today's market, you can find several different variations of the dab rig, but the basic rig looks like a bong. Now let's go back to the Dream Factory and watch our artists concentrate on making the best dab rigs for their concentrates.
Stay tuned, session 2 coming up after the break. We're back inside the Dream Factory for session 2, the dab rig. Our theme continues to be music. Ladies and gentlemen, start your torches.
All right. Yeah, the heat is on. Second set's always my favorite. Everybody's good and high for it. Phil, what do you got going on? What's in your head right now?
I'm prepared similarly for this round that I was the last time, so I'm gonna have to work through it in kind of a similar pace. I'm making like a sister piece to the piece that I made in the first round. I'm making a place that's near and dear in my family's heart is Hawaii, and so I'm making my Somewhere Over the Rainbow piece. So it's gonna be a Mauna Kea sticking up out of a bank of fog clouds with the sun coming up on one side and a rainbow shooting down to a secondary cloud cluster.
Carl, what's going on in your head over there, man? You come in, you have a musical theme.
So I'm going for kind of classical shape in the tube itself, right? So something kind of reminiscent of vase-like with a lot of detail in the sections. So it ties in a little more with my normal work, using some millies from some past projects of mine.
And then what part of the pipe are you making here?
So these are going to be attachments. So I'm going to pull this down into some big chunky rod that I'll break up later in the final assembly to add on a little more detail to the finished piece.
What are you making there, Tammy?
Making a piece of tubing orange. It's like coloring.
It's gonna be solid, a solid.
I'm gonna make it solid orange because the little character that I'm making that goes with my rig is, he's orange. So if I coat the whole tubing with orange, all of a sudden I got an orange tube. And then if I blow it out and shape it, and then throw a face on it, then I've got Kenny. And I'll be done with that little piece.
What are you doing there? Reaming? Are you reaming an orifice?
When I bring these two pieces together, I want that starting opening to be as close to the same as possible. Get them really hot and try and get as much of the weld done on contact as you can get away with.
When you say really hot, how do you know they're both the same temperature?
So generally the best way, it's the glow. The glow doesn't lie. So if it's glowing at a dull red, it's at least 1,000 degrees.
And both sides are the same dull red
well,
color.
if you look, you're looking and you compare the glow between this one and this one. Is this red or is this white? Right? The closer to white, the hotter it is.
And so when you connect it, if you get a crooked line, can you fix it?
To a certain extent, yes. But what it might cost you is having a straight seal. It might angle a little one way or the other. You know.
What part of the
worst
the
case,
hash
you
rig
rip it open and you just do it over again.
What part of the hash rig are we working on here?
So this is going to be the neck to the tube. This is going to be the shoulder, and I'm going to be building down from there.
I can't tell what that is, Phil.
It's the sun.
Oh, it is the sun.
Yep.
How important are those bridges to keep those sunbeams in place? Is it just safety?
Yeah, I'm just leaving them on there because I'm trying to go quick, and so I'm like heating them and tagging them and trying to melt them in all in like a pretty quick time frame. So this little bridge just helps to hold it in place while I melt it in.
Oh, okay. But you're not worried about them waving like this from heat?
No, if something goes wrong, this whole thing is toast. Discs are not friendly in that way.
Okay. I know that.
I mean, I can get it back, but it'll severely distort it. And I'll have to really work it a lot to try to get it to come back to where it's happy again.
Tammy, I really can't see what you're making there.
I forget what the hell they call it in that cartoon movie thing, but it's a mythical creature that this princess envisioned that she's gonna be riding, and it flies. It has a dolphin tail, and
oh, gorgeous!
And it's got like a pterodactyl bird beak kind of thing.
I like it.
I have a question. With our theme being music, are you approaching what you're doing today any differently than you would with the theme?
Yeah, well, you know, I wanted to include that music, and I wanted to get to work with some of the more traditional Millian type of scene construction I do. So, and for me, that Scream character, that classical painting of the Scream image, it's, you know, one of those ones that always kind of had a musical thing. You always wonder, well, what is he screaming?
Yeah.
You know, is it just rage or anger, or is it a song? So for this,
I always thought it was a song, actually.
Well, that's the idea I went playing with on this guy.
Okay, cool.
Carl, can you talk about how you got all that beautiful patterning in there?
Well, so there's actually 4 layers of patterning in here. So the bottom layer was the equivalent of a stringer drawing. You know, I was trying to get that impressionist look from the Scream painting. So I mixed up some color into stringers and I drew on a basic background. So on top of that background, I came in and I put the bridge in. I also did the second layer on the trees and the clouds in the sky. So the third layer I came in, it was the Scream dude, a little more just minor color to get some depth, and the musical notes was on the 4th layer. So basically this section had a lot that went into it before I ever got it together.
Tammy, what's going on over there in your head?
Oh, I'm blowing Kenny's brains out right now.
Really?
The piece is gonna blow his mind, and that's where the Q-tips are gonna go, so. I'm blowing out the back of his head.
What colors are you using?
I'm using orange from North Star.
And Kenny ties into the music scene because
in the episode when he's doing drugs, he goes into like a rock and roll induced
cat piss snorting frenzy.
cat piss snorting freaking binge craze. Yeah.
Phil, I was wondering what you were drawing in there on the volcano.
Oh, I'm just making some cut lines for some texture, just to give it a little bit more, less of just a bulbous kind of a mountain. I'm putting some, you know, like one of the signatures to those really beautiful Hawaiian mountains is that they have a lot of deep grooves in them. Now, Mauna Kea is not quite so much like that, but it is, it still has texture. It's a volcano still.
So we just crossed our hour mark. We're 58 minutes from final, put this thing in the kiln time. We have another spot in the finals. When you get to the finals, you're in the running for 10 stacks. Okay, $10,000 is going out to the winner. You're gonna get this killer West Coast leather jacket. You're gonna get a GTT torch from William Wally. You're gonna get a killer ancestral flame of knowledge. And go home and puff on that sucker.
The pressure builds. Who will take the last spot in the championship? The conclusion of session 2 when we return.
Hey kittens, is it gonna be okay if I go back in now? Alright.
Tammy, do you have to keep going in and soaking this thing as you're working it?
Well, it's a whole lot of different thicknesses of glass, and rather than poke the fucking bear, I'd rather like keep the bear happy.
Pet the bear.
I try not to really test the bear. That's called counting coup, and you only really do that when you think you got a chance, you know? So.
Okay, let me ask you guys all something. We have almost 45 minutes left.
Yeah.
Who's feeling stressed that they're not going to finish their piece in time? Anybody?
Well, it depends on what you call finished. There's more I
Mouthpiece
want
in the
done.
thing, ready to get judged.
It'll be smokable. I can guarantee that.
It almost looks smokable already.
Well, it is.
Yeah, it does look
I
smokable
just
already.
hit it that moment right now. I got to size the down stem for it still. But theoretically, yeah, it's now a functional piece. But I wanted a little bit more time towards the end to be able to fill it out and add in some extras. So yeah, that's the race against the clock for me from here.
What are you doing to the piece right now? With that huge...
Warming it up, buying myself a little extra working time before I have to warm it up again. Getting it over like 1050, that's like 1060, but I want to get this a little bit hotter so I can get it up a little bit so I have a little bit more time before it cools down, you know?
Are you making a little carpole there, or?
No, I gotta make a connection to the sun.
We're getting tight here with Tammy's piece. She's getting close. Looks like she's getting comfortable again. She's got the big flame and she's out. You can almost see her in her eyes what she's feeling right now. I mean, it's like you said before, it's a release. It's a jumping off the cliff. There is no, you know, she's in midair here.
Yeah, definitely very focused.
Very focused, and you know, as a musician watching it, you don't fully get that it can crack at any point.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
You can feel it.
Yeah, there could definitely be some. This is where we're down to the wire, you know.
Right.
I can't see where the bolt comes out.
I don't see where the bowl comes out either.
I mean, I think you suck in through the tail.
How do you turn your nifty flashlight on? I
She's got a
can't see
flashlight.
shit.
She's looking for a crack in there. She's looking deep. It's a big, gnarly flame. It's a lot of weight on the end of a little piece.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see.
She got Phil running around behind her. That could be a psychological move by Phil, just to kind of make her think about what's behind her.
Why didn't you grab the rainbow, Phil?
I gotta move this bridge out of the way real quick.
Completely?
Yeah.
So these guys are both really
Which is why the last time I took
clock.
it out, I put another connection point to the disc. That way I could do that. Take this bridge off.
So 23 minutes to go. This is looking like these guys are going to go all the way to the ends. Two giant pieces are out here on the floor. Carl's just swimming along beside them doing the backstroke right now.
Could you pop
without
those?
a care in the world.
Phil, couldn't you almost use clippers sometimes to pop off bridges?
Sure. Yeah, I use my shears and cut them off often. I just know I'd have to go back and clean it up. So I already have this in my hand, and so I'm just going for this move.
The room is becoming pressurized.
It's definitely on right now. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Oh, I can't see jack shit. I couldn't figure out how to turn Carl's on. It wouldn't hurt to see if I got it, but at this point,
They put them in the kiln to soak more heat. They're really testing the clock here. They're really gambling this $10,000 grand prize right now. And Carl's really taking his chance, putting some last appendage onto his piece, heating that super thick bell rig. It's got to be 5 to 7 millimeters thick alone. Heating it and attaching something is just against all odds right now. He's really going to the perimeter, edging on this one.
I'm just wondering about the process of, you know, how long it stays in the kiln.
Yeah. So when they're going in there, they're trying to let the kiln soak heat into the core part of the glass. Right. So if this is the glass, I want to be hot in the middle, the same as the outside. And it has to go to 1,050 degrees, which is just before the temperature it'll let go. Yeah. So you're up there, all the molecules are dancing, and they're trying to get it all soaked in so you can bring it back out and safely have a minute or two to work on it. Put it back in. How many more moves, Phil?
I got to put the rainbow on, and then I need to pull the bottom off and peel the couple of bridges I have.
So how are you going to grab the piece when you pull the bottom off?
These gloves.
How long do you think that's going to take you to get the gloves on and pull the bottom off the piece?
I'll be close. I'll be close. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna put the rainbow on. I might have to put that back in before I do the last thing, you know? Yeah, we're getting there, but.
Carl, are you thinking about Phil's time? Are you worried that he's not gonna make it in time?
So I'm almost out of working time. I'd like to give it just at least a little bit more of a kilning before I finish up.
Carl's not thinking about Phil's time at all right now.
He's like,
oh, Phil's time? No. How's Phil's time going?
We're good.
Yeah.
He's pushing it close, bro. He's pushing it close. He's poking the devil right now.
Hey Phil, you doing anything important? Did you light my hand torch?
Yeah.
Tammy's super intense over here.
Aww.
She's gonna get a little help.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. I'll just have it ready for you when you're ready for it.
Sick.
Phil's taken away from his own time right now. Tammy's got high temperature Kevlar gloves on. She's using metal tools to grab out whatever.
Why do I always do this when
she's
competing?
grabbing at.
I can't see.
Holding the glass. Her hand is getting hot right now. I mean, her hand has got to be burning.
I just closed it too, didn't I? Yeah, that's the goal. Oh, you can't. Sorry.
Carl's got another soak going on, and now we're running across the 15-minute mark.
15 minutes.
Yeah, it gives me just
15
enough
minutes
time
is
to
enough
soak
for
it the
one
mouthpiece.
move
Yep.
in my book. So Phil's about to attach this rainbow right now. Again, a lot of work out there on the end of the blowpipe he's got in his hand. He's holding it really tight with his left hand. Not paying any attention to his next door neighbor, Tammy, who's over there crushing, getting this thing prepared to go in the kiln. Phil's working the rainbow, and doing an attachment like this is very difficult because you have to have both pieces melted in to either side. Oh, jeweler's torch. Tammy, she's got it in her hand. She's actually holding the glass, which is very hard to do. The piece is well over 1,000 degrees. And you can see, even in her legs, in her stance, in her everything, she's trying to keep it centered. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left, and everybody's still working. And it is Las Vegas. We are taking odds. She's just holding that piece like
Is that it?
money
Tammy?
piece.
Beautiful. Ooh.
Yes, ma'am. I decided not to curl the hands. I don't
Gorgeous,
got time.
gorgeous. Well done. Bravo. Bravo.
Brava.
So we got Carl. We got Carl here. Carl's tipping off of his top right now. He's picking off little excess glass. He could totally get himself burned right here. He could totally fall. It could fall on the ground right here. It can also cool down too much right here. Phil's in the background holding his piece with his hand right now. He's got some sort of Kevlar or carbon mat. He's holding it up in the air like it's nothing. It looks like he's finished with it. He's putting his Kevlar glove on, and he's heading to put this piece into the kiln to soak. It's last time annealing until it comes out to be judged by me. And we're gonna see who goes on to the finals. Carl at 1 minute and 30 seconds. Mr. I'm Almost Done is now the last guy out.
Nice job, Phil.
Now the other two are kind of backstroking around him, trying to locate his tools. They're still cold. The tongs are cold. He doesn't care if they're cold. He's just going for it. He's going to catch it with his bare hand if it drops. Tammy's there to help him. Camaraderie. Let's count them down. Real time.
Woohoo!
And we're gonna have the
seconds to spare.
When we come back, one of these three artists will join our finalists for a chance to compete for $10,000. Stick around. It's time to judge our dab rigs. Tammy Baller is in the lead with a perfect score of 30 points. Grim and Phil are both tied with 27. Grim's up first. Alex, did he strike the right notes?
I love the staff music on there. I love the colors and the screaming guy. I was blown away by the detail, and I love the usage of the music notes in there and everything, and the colors, so you're getting a 10.
Wow, a perfect score. Amazing. Jason?
Awesome. Oh, I haven't actually seen it in person yet, and it's heavy, like I thought it was on the end of his blow tube there. I mean, this is just as complex as it gets in borosilicate. And I'm working in front of the cameras and all the pressure. I'm shocked that you pulled it off like that. I love the piece. I love the qualities about it, and I love the preparation that went into it. The music notes and the scream kind of bounced off of each other. I'm going to give you a 9.
All right, another top score. Karen?
I enjoyed the Murini in the work, and the painterly quality was exceptional. So I'm giving him a 9.
All right. 55 points and our leader. All right, Phil. Alex, check this one out. Looks like we're switching to a different time of the day.
I immediately think of the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Hollywood because that's, every night when they close, that's the last song they play when they're kicking people out at 2 a.m. I love the rainbow, the colors on it. I love the detail and the everything. It's great. I was blown away. 10.
All righty, 10 points. Jason, give us your score.
Can I pick it up by the rainbow handle?
Yeah.
Wow. It makes me want to go skip along to go see the Disco Biscuits or something.
It's supposed to be a
Super cool
happy
piece, super different take on it. I read tree stump, not Mauna Kea, but it's still cool to me. I'm going to smoke it from here, and I'm going to put my banger here and probably hang it out this way some way. It's going to have that shape on it. I love the piece. It's artistic. It had a fun quality to it. It was like I said, it was more of a stump than a Mauna Kea, and we're going at a 9, baby.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks so much, Phil.
Thank you. Okay, Karen.
I love the beautiful little story. I think he could have pushed it a little bit more and added a little lava to his volcano, but he still deserves a 9.
Wow, 55. Okay, once again, tie score. Good job, guys. Tammy, you're up next. Alex, what'd you think?
What is that?
That would be the mythical beast and the bitch from the heavy metal movie from 1981. And Kenny, because every time he does drugs, he sees this chick and plays the heavy metal movie and stuff. South Park, I'm telling you guys.
Amazing.
The Cheesin' episode was amazing.
Alex, what do you think?
Well, the detail on it's amazing right off the bat. Yeah, it was killer. I'm going to give you a 9.
All right, 9 points. Jason, how about you?
Cool piece. I almost see it as a metaphor for Alex. This is Alex, and these bitches riding him around during pure rock and roll here. I felt like you were struggling through it when you were making it.
Well, we had this,
and it's not a bad thing because it's here in my hand and it's not in 2 pieces on the ground. Nobody's crying.
I fist it.
I'm gonna give you the 9.
All right, another 9. Tammy, you need a 7 to tie, and an 8 puts you into the finals. Karen, what's your score?
I have to say it did leave me a little bit confused, but it was still a hell of a piece. So I gave her a 9.
All right, Tammy Baller. Congratulations, you're moving on to the next round. Great job.
Our Chongbong brackets are now complete. Tammy Baller joins Yushin Goins, Dina Soulfire Kalahar, and Deline Peralta in our championships.
I feel pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to win anything here, so I was up against 2 really amazing glassblowers, and I managed to win. Not that crazy.
I am Tommy Chong, and from all of us here at Operation Pipe Dreamers and the cannabis community, never stop living the dream.
It was a good experience. I had a lot of fun. I got the stuff I wanted in the kiln. That's about all I can ever hope for.
I think everybody bit off a good chunk of work, and I was really impressed.
I'm tired. My shoulder hurts, but I'm gonna tough it out and be a beast and bring it.